Donald Trump is going after immigration hard. Big changes are happening in U.S. immigration policy, and you need to know about them. Today, I'm going to break down all the major immigration announcements made by Trump on his first day back in office and explain what they mean for asylum seekers and immigrants. And we're starting right now. I'm Brian Manning, and I used to be an asylum officer with the government. But now, as an asylum lawyer, I help immigrants all over the country secure their future in America through asylum. Let me know in the comments if you've got an asylum case pending or are considering applying. I'd especially like to hear from you if you've been waiting for an asylum interview for multiple years. Trump has been promising for months to crack down on immigration on his first day in office, and he did exactly that on January 20th, when he was inaugurated, kicking off his second term as president. Let's look at the 6 major changes announced on day 1. First, Trump declared a national emergency at the southern border. This declaration allows him to try to bypass Congress to get funding for border wall construction and other enforcement measures. But what's really concerning is that he's directed the military to take an active role in immigration enforcement. The order tells the Defense Department to seal the borders and, quote, repel forms of invasion. This is highly problematic from a legal standpoint. There's a law from the 1870s that generally prohibits using federal troops for domestic law enforcement. Involving the military and immigration enforcement raises serious concerns. He's also disbanded the task force that was working to reunite families separated under his previous zero-tolerance policy. Second, Trump shut down the CBP One app immediately after taking office. This app was the main legal pathway for migrants to request asylum appointments at ports of entry. Around 30,000 people with existing appointments are now in limbo, with their appointments having been canceled. Another estimated 270,000 migrants waiting in Mexico have lost their ability to schedule future appointments. This effectively eliminates one of the few organized, orderly ways people had to legally request asylum. By the way, if you want to maximize your chances for asylum success, then be sure to hit the subscribe button and bell notification, so you don't miss the insights that I share on this channel. Okay, third, Trump is trying to end birthright citizenship. He has directed federal agencies to stop issuing citizenship documents to U.S.-born children if their parents are undocumented or on temporary visas. This is a massive change that would affect how the 14th Amendment has been interpreted for over 150 years. The ACLU has already filed a lawsuit challenging this order. I want to be very clear here. The Constitution states that just about anyone born on U.S. soil is a citizen, and it has always been understood to include people whose parents don't have legal status here. Changing the Constitution would require a constitutional amendment, which needs supermajority votes in Congress and ratification by 3/4 of states. What Trump appears to be doing instead is trying to deny these children documentation, which could effectively prevent them from accessing public services, even though they are in fact citizens. So even though Trump knows he'll almost certainly end up losing on this issue in the courts, he's making life hard for people now and making a show of force to please his political base. Alright, fourth, Trump plans to reinstate the Remain in Mexico policy, requiring asylum seekers to wait in Mexico while their cases are processed in U.S. courts. This policy was problematic during Trump's first term because it forced vulnerable people to wait in dangerous conditions, often in areas controlled by cartels. Many asylum seekers never received notice of their court dates, causing them to miss hearings through no fault of their own. Implementation of this policy requires Mexico's cooperation, and Mexico's Foreign Affairs Minister has already stated they disagree with reinstating it. This could create significant diplomatic tension. Fifth, Trump ended the so-called CHNV program, which allowed nationals of certain countries to come here legally on parole. The program allowed up to 30,000 migrants monthly from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela to fly directly to the United States, at their own expense. It was viewed as an important factor in helping to reduce southern border crossings. It allowed people who probably would have come to the border to instead be vetted ahead of time and come in an orderly way, by plane. Sixth, and this is particularly concerning, Trump's administration is planning immediate large-scale immigration raids across the country. His border czar, Tom Homan, has announced that ICE will conduct operations in multiple cities starting this week. They're specifically targeting Chicago first, with plans to deploy 100 to 200 officers for a week-long operation. Several major cities have already declared they won't cooperate with these enforcement efforts. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, Boston Mayor Michelle Wu, and Denver Mayor Mike Johnston have all stated their cities will remain sanctuary cities, meaning local law enforcement won't assist federal immigration authorities. Now, it's important to understand that many of these changes we've discussed today will face legal challenges. The courts blocked several of Trump's immigration policies during his first term, and we can expect similar challenges now. However, this time around, Trump's team appears better prepared legally and administratively to implement these changes, and the courts have been stacked with Trump-friendly judges, so he may have more success in implementing these anti-immigrant policies. The key thing to remember is that while these policies may seem overwhelming, you still have rights under U.S. law. The asylum system, while under pressure, remains in place. If you have a legitimate fear of persecution in your home country, you still have the right to seek protection in the United States. It's just that it's now going to be harder than ever to win your case. Undoubtedly, approval rates are going to decline, both in immigration court and at the USCIS asylum offices. This means it's more important than ever to get the legal representation that will help you build and present the strongest case possible. And listen, if you've been waiting for an asylum interview with USCIS for multiple years, I urge you to consider taking action to move your stalled case forward. You may be able to get your interview scheduled through an asylum delay lawsuit. We've been using this tool to great effect in my law firm. Our clients love it because it works. I really think that with every passing month that Trump is in office, it's going to become increasingly harder to win asylum. That's why you should push now to get your asylum interview scheduled as soon as possible. If you're ready to take the next step and get help with your asylum case, call my office today. That number is 713-909-0401. Remember, we help people all over the country, so it doesn't matter where you live. Call us now to schedule an Asylum Strategy Session, so we can help you secure your future in America through asylum. Again, I'm Brian Manning, and it's an honor to serve you in your asylum journey.